Welcome to the Transforming Lives panel podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sharmin.
And I'm Mitzi Dudu, and your other host.
We are here today with a guest, but before we continue, customarily, we just take a moment to be grounded and centered together. Just join me in taking a few deep breaths in, holding it at the top, and exhaling through your mouth. Take another deep breath in through your nose, hold it, and let it go. Again, in through your nose, hold it, and on this exhale, just let go of everything that didn't serve you today. Just let it go on the exhale, and take a breath in and feel the power of that breath as it enters your body from the crown of your head all the way to the sole of your feet. And as you exhale, just join us for the next 30 minutes as we enjoy the moment together, centered and grounded. And welcome to another episode. And today we are thrilled to welcome Michelle J. Howe to the Transforming Lives panel podcast. She is the founder and president of Empath Evolution. Michelle stands out as a distinguished educator and visionary dedicated to empowering the next generation of leaders. Her transformative work enables individuals to unlock their authentic power, forge deeper connections, and embrace empathy as a pivotal force in exceptional leadership. Michelle, welcome.
Thank you, Sharmin.
You're so welcome. Is there anything you would like to add to your bio?
You did an exceptional job. That was beautiful. Thank you. I think it's pretty complete. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you. In today's episode, I want us to dive into the theme of transformation. With you, Michelle, I would like to explore a few things, like first, unlocking your authenticity. How can leaders access and express their true selves in a way that inspires others?
That is a very good question. Unlocking their true self in ways that inspire others. So, I mean, it's multifaceted here. Our true self, who is that? Is that what we present to the world? Is it always what we present to the world, or is it what we hold close within us, that is us? We might show it to some, we may not show it. How can we embody more of that, who we truly are, instead of being carefully scripted, carefully presented, so the world is constantly in judgment. That is our biggest fear. We are looked upon and judged, or in a positive way or a negative way. So we put on who we want, who we feel safe being in the world. I'm safe to be this person. Now, to a degree, that's understandable. It's certainly smart. You don't want to present something that the world is going to be, oh, that's bad, that's horrible. This is, so we have to be aware of the environments that we're in. Ideally, we're not so off script that we're miserable being this person that the world expects us to be when it's not truly and authentically who we are. And I think sometimes we lose sight of who we are because we're some of us more than others, not, it's not a blanket comment, but it's much deeper who we are. And I think when we focus on who that is, which comes with maturity. And maybe, we get some bruises along the way. It helps us question what is really important to me? Who am I really? What's my mission? What's my guiding force? What's my purpose? How do I like being? Because I think a lot of how we present ourselves is we were scripted in a certain way. We came through, certain things are acceptable, certain things aren't. And sometimes we can feel really disjointed. I think a lot of women in their 40s and 50s go through this questioning, you know, and it always coincides with some major change that just happened in our life. I thought my life was this, and this, and now, it's shifted. It's not the way I thought. Let me rewrite who I am. Well, wait, who am I? Who do I want to be? So I think it's as far as leaders and stepping into who we are and authenticity, it's a big word to be true to yourself. And I think it comes back to having a pulse on how we're feeling, what feels empowering and uplifting and true. Not not because we have to, not because we need to, not because we're afraid of any other thing, but because we're ready to show and be all of that in the world. So, I mean, I think anyone who goes down this path with me or authenticity has gone through some bruises along the way, enough to see what's not them versus what is them. They've had to make hard choices and look inside, because most of us are looking out. We're looking out. So how do we invite people to look in? Looking in is probably the harder of the two things to do, with looking out. But when we look in, how do I feel? How am I feeling? Like, it's very easy to look out and be distracted with everything and be concerned. But when we look in, we might be humbled. We might be torn. We might be, angst, fear, insecurity, all of those things that I think are part of all of our equations, that we don't often want to go there and look at. So one is more superficial, we're looking out, we're showing what, and one is more truly, I've reflected, I know who I am, I want to bring that to the table, I love who I am. These are my values. This is how I show up. This is what they see. What they see is not, a show. I mean, we all present a certain way, but how far apart is that from who we really are in every area of our life? We should be that same person in every area. But, it's a work in progress, Charmaine. That's all I can say. It's not, this is it, and this is how it goes, and, this is the path forward. To me, I started Empath Evolution because feeling, not thinking, not logic, but the art of feeling and being in your body and expressing that essence of who you are, like that positive. Like, I see people as positive. We're positive, uplifting, collaborative, happy people, until we have to deal with judgments, until we, maybe we're not successful. Maybe the world doesn't think we're successful. Maybe I failed at this. Maybe my own mind is telling me I'm a failure. I'm not, this is not, you don't belong. You're not loved. You're not lovable. So there's all this ancillary noise that gets in the way of authenticity. So I don't know if I answered your question or not, but I was trying to bring it around because it's a big topic that when a leader shows up authentically, they connect heart to heart with another person. It's heart to heart. And so few of us really understand what that means or are comfortable with what emotions really are. or what connection really can be with another person. Because we have to start first with that connection within ourselves. We have to be able to, yeah, this is my purpose in life. This is how I show up. This is how I feel. I'm really comfortable in my own skin. I'm really comfortable in uncomfortable situations with people. I understand people's range of emotion because I understand my own. And I have empathy for what that is. I see through the layers of what people show me, and I see the gold of who they actually are. But there's all these layers in front of them that kind of confuse the situation, confuse them as to who they are. So it's the ability, the ability to look at someone and see the struggle, feel the struggle, but also see the golden, like the golden thread that runs through them, and help them mirror back to them their magnificence.
I was going to say, when you're working with someone and you're taking them through this process, what are some of the activities that you would do with them, or how do you help them find who they really are and what their emotions really are?
Through a process of integration. So basically, I'm teaching them about energetics. I'm teaching them to trust, to open their heart, to like their senses. Yes, on a certain level, we're all hearing, we're all seeing, we're all feeling. But how do you become a deeper person? I bring that knowledge to them and then I question them. And I tell them, now look here, now pay attention there. What are you noticing? It's a process of interjecting the information, having someone think about it, and then apply it, and then pause on it. It's like that reflective. It's reflection, and it's them being astounded as like they're happy to know that not all their thoughts, not all their emotions are a true description or characterization of who they are. That who they are. So I elevate systematically the way they're looking at a situation. I expand the way their mind, what they're looking at changes, and what they're feeling changes because they're going to change what they're looking at. So, in the world of metaphysics, spirituality, energetics, like there is a correlation. We impact one another. So when you're with someone who has fine-tuned different things, all of a sudden that activates you to think and feel like, because you're exchanging energy with another person, and each of us genius in our own way, right? We don't know there's a purple car even available in the road, right? Until someone says, look, that color over there, there's the purple car. Now all of a sudden you're looking for the purple car and you're spotting the purple car. So it's giving you roadmaps, giving you signs to look for that all of a sudden start to open up different parts of your brain, different part of how you engage. So part of it is, mentorship, listening, energetically activating. So you start to feel and sense energy. You start to trust your knowing. So I'm taking your normal senses and I'm uplifting it, expanding it. Nope, there's more for you to know here. Period. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, how do you take someone who is stuck in trauma, self-doubt, maybe self-pity? How do you take them from that place and help them to cross over into the energetic space that you can begin to expand and do the work with them?
Excellent question. So I speak truth to purpose. When I see somebody, I can certainly sense the trauma. They will tell me the trauma. And it's never my job to counter what they're seeing or what they're feeling. I give them space enough to step into a different zone. Like I give them, here's what the path looks like when you shift and change. This is where you were. This is a story, right? And it's not an untrue story. It's true. It happened to you. You perceived it this way. What if there was another way of perceiving this story? What if? So I start to poke a little bit of holes in, I start to interject different elements of how I see their story when they present it to me, and the opportunities and the purpose of those stories and that experience for them. Because in a sense, all experiences are valuable, whether they're in a positive experience or whether they're a traumatic experience. Each of them is teaching you about life. So now in order for them to receive, first of all, they have to feel safe. I'm not here judging them, right? And I'm here to actually honor where they're at, what they've been through, and help them place it in a way that, ooh, wow, I was exposed to all these amazing things. And why would that have been? They were difficult, they were challenging. But how can that information be useful to me, that experience be useful to me today and in the future? And elevating the vision of it, like the experience of this. None of this was ever by accident. We don't go through things by accident. There's a purpose to everything. We can label it as good and bad, traumatic, right? Some of it it takes a toll on us. But in total, we have the power to change how we're moving to move through it. We move through difficulty. We don't stay stuck in difficulty. And you don't rescue anybody. I don't step in there to rescue them. What are they ready for? I allow them to experience what they're ready for. So it's allowing them to take the time it takes. It takes time. Some people are really quick to move through things. Other people it takes a little longer. And it's just holding that vision. So I mirror back to them their highest potential. What I see is not what they're feeling. And I can lean into what they're feeling and then tweak it just enough that they can see more of the light, more of the lights coming in. Okay, now here are some tools. Here's some introspection. Here's some things you might not have thought of. I want you to pay attention to those things and see what comes your way. It's helping them look at their life as a miracle rather than a challenging obstacle and trauma. It's changing their experience innately. Yes, it was painful. Yes, it was challenging. And they are going to move through those emotions because they are not that emotion.
So
Yeah.
you acknowledge their trauma or where they are, and then furnish them with tools to help them to escape, to overcome, to step into a new light.
To move through the stages. So the moment you start empowering another person to, yes, this is where you are, but this is where you're going. Now I'm moving them forward mentally. Emotionally, they may still, but a little bit at a time. It's almost like you're loosening up something that's gotten stuck. You're loosening up the fibers so they can, oh, this is how I lighten the mode. This is how this shifts. This is why it's like you're giving them an alternative script, an alternative way of looking at their life.
Okay.
And it gives them it opens them up. It opens them up to a new possibilities, new potentials. It just is an uplifting experience instead of, do we have to go through this? This is like, it feels good to go in and clean things out. It feels good to validate, acknowledge, look at, be loving and tender and supportive of yourself. It is it's a stage, right? And sometimes it lasts a while, sometimes it comes and then it goes, right? But each time we go through these experiences, we are a different person on the outside at the end. And we're different as we move through it. So it's recognizing that every person I meet is quite strong. Sometimes we don't have the insight, the wherewithal to understand certain things, and that we start identifying with the situations as if we are the we are in charge of all this. We are not in charge of everything. We're in charge of what we came in, what we do, right? We weren't in charge when our parents were young. They were in charge. And they set the course, set into motion different things. And as we get older, we can turn different knobs on. And wow, there's more to this aircraft that I knew that was even possible for me. So I'm opening up the landscape to show them what's possible when you expand your mind, you expand your heart, you expand. And you're not just micro focused straight ahead. There's a lot of truths in the world. There's a lot of false perception. There's distortions. Like, we all see the world the way that we are. But when we change who we are, we change what we see. So the world becomes, I've had different clients with the world that surround us is there because we're part of creating it every day. When we change what we're going to turn on and off and what we're going to allow and not allow, we just kind of steer the ship in this direction. Why? Because that direction feels much better. Right? So, sorry, I'm deep.
Thank you so much, Michelle, and we'll see you next time.